Well, welcome to the Thames at Kingston on a beautiful late summer's day for Travel in the Know with me, Philip Saunders. Now, last week I was wandering along the riverbank past the Cote Brasserie and saw that there was what looked like an amazing offer. £10 for an iconic dish every single day from Monday through Friday, and different dishes at that as well. I actually went last week on Monday, had the steak, and then forgot about it the rest of the week and didn't make a vlog. I thought, opportunity missed, but I was so wrong when I opened my emails this morning and saw that Cote were repeating the offer for a second week. So I think it's time to just wander slightly along the embankment and go and visit Cote to enjoy some steak frites, and then you know what? Review each of their iconic classics over the next 4 days as well. Let's go and take a look. The mammoth 1 week long daily review of Cote restaurants icon offers starts here Monday 12 o'clock. Always best to be early at Cote on the beautiful Kingston riverside. It should be, hopefully, the setting for a decent lunch. £10 for a different lunchtime classical French style dish every day for a week sounds like a spectacular offer. Having said that, you've got to be fair to Cote, really, because on a daily basis they have a prix menu, 2 courses at £21.50 and 3 courses at £25.50, which is available from 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. So not that usual Friday exclusion. Anyhow, today is Monday, so it must be the steak frite day. And this is a 5-ounce minute steak topped with garlic butter, served with frite. On the a la carte menu, you've also got the possibility to upgrade the frite to triple cooked truffle chips for £1. I wonder if they'll let me do that or not. What really is minute steak? It's a very thin, quick cooking cut of beef, typically around about 1 centimetre in thickness, and usually it's either from the sirloin, the round, or the flank muscles, so sometimes from cheaper cuts. But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't taste great. The key point is that it's cooked very, very quickly, seared or pan-fried in just a couple of minutes. It's lean, it's tender, and yes, it's economical, but it should have plenty of taste. Also excellent, by the way, if you're doing it at home for stir fries or in sandwiches. The other important point is, just like any other steak, you also let it rest for a few minutes before serving it, so I wonder if they do. One thing that is appreciated is no fuss is ever made, including with this £10 special meal, at bringing you tap water. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it. The steak frites have arrived and the plate is nice and hot, and also really great, I've had my upgraded fries. So they've only added £1 onto the bill so that I can have the triple fried fries. So I like the way the meal was brought actually pretty promptly, and also plate nice and hot, which is obviously good for a minute steak. The butter still melting over the steak. Last time I was here at Cote, that definitely wasn't the case. And the fries are nicely presented. I'm going to do the Greeno trick. I'm going to immediately pull them out of this rather nice dish to see just how many there are. Oh, I've just drowned them in butter, but it's not so bad. It's a reasonable portion, not huge, but I don't think you can complain at the price. Nice, beautifully laundered serviette. My money's not laundered. And then basically a good steak knife and my meal. So let's get in and see what it's like. Meat cuts nicely, seems very moist. It's well cooked, which is normal with a minute steak. There's really only one way of cooking it. That's decent, actually. It's nicely charred on the surface. It's not incredibly tender, but equally it's not overly chewy. It's fair enough for the type of steak it is. And there's a decent amount of flavour in there, actually. And I like the charring. Charring is like it's just been, turned on a barbecue or a grill. You can definitely taste it. And quite generous portion of butter. There are some decent herbs in there as well. Let's try the fries. Really hot. Clearly skin on. But they actually benefit from having been dipped in the butter and having that kind of herby, garlicky, buttery taste. I wouldn't say they taste exactly how I would normally associate a triple cooked chip. Quite reasonable, I would say. Nothing particularly special, but decent. And the herbs are nice as well. So have fresh herbs with your steak. Just see how that mix of herbs works. Yeah, I like that. Whilst I've been eating, I've spoken as well to the manager, and he explained to me that the meat was actually sirloin, so it's pretty high quality as well. And as I've cut through the steak, I've seen that there are areas which are actually pretty pink, which is something that personally I really appreciate. Certainly, I mean, it's not more than medium, but it's nice that it is medium in that regard. The manager also explained to me that today alone, there will be 400 people at this Kingston branch of Cote ordering steak frites. So managing total consistency over such a large number of orders must be challenging. That's my comment, not his. Well, I've enjoyed day one of being an icon. The second
Welcome.
week, which surprised me. I was really surprised to get an email this morning.
Yeah, it was. We had such a successful week last week with the Icon promotion that we're running it into this week as well.
That's great. Sorry, your name is Jack. You are the
Yeah.
assistant general manager, is that right? Of
here in
Kingston.
Kingston.
You've really got a great presence, and you can
Thank
see
you
that
very
you're
much.
keeping people very happy. And I certainly enjoyed the first day. But I'm just interested, from a professional perspective, what does it mean? How different is a week with icon offers? Because obviously it's iconically eye-catching.
It is, and it celebrates some of our favourite dishes on the menu, our guests' favourite dishes, and our the quality of our ingredients. Our guests love it. We've got loads of our regular guests are coming in to visit us for the Icon promotion, and we're seeing a lot of new faces as well.
If I'd come in, sat down, and said, "Could I have the steak frites?" and didn't mention being iconic, what would you charge me? The £10 or the full rate?
Well-
which is I think 18.25, right?
We know our icons. Everyone's an icon.
Really? So you are generous in spirit.
We're a generous brand. Yeah.
Which is the most popular icon?
All right, the steak frites. Monday, steak
really
frites. Busiest by far.
Oh, there you are again. Well, it's Tuesday now, and I haven't got very far. I'm still in Kingston. This is the main square, and the river is over just a few metres in that direction. I had intended to go to a different Pret restaurant every day, but it's a different time of day. It's 5:30 in the evening, not lunchtime, and this type of restaurant offer is normally only available at lunch. So I thought that I'd actually test out the same restaurant at a different sitting. So let's see what today's special for Salmon Bearnaise, I think, is going to be like. Join me. Just show you just behind me, it is tough for the restaurant industry right now. Bussaba's closed down. Pizza Express is actually a new restaurant. They took over a property for a burger bar, Haché, I think. And Cote have been struggling as well recently, but it seems like they're getting the funding in order to be able to surge forward again. But we all know it's a very tough environment for the hospitality industry right now. I thought I'd sit outside, and that's all in your service, of course, for the art of the work, because it's actually getting a little bit chillier, and I've only got this little shirt, although they do give you some covers as well, which is appreciated. But I wanted you to see Kingston Bridge just behind me. I hope you can. Food's arrived, and really it was very fast this evening. It was within about 8 minutes of ordering. That probably reflects the fact there are less people here, and obviously the fact that they are preparing a lot of these special dishes during this iconic week. So the salmon with Bearnaise sauce. It also looks like there's a little bit of broccoli, a little bit of very similar salad to yesterday, and also the fries that don't look a lot different to yesterday. They've also got the skin on, but they should be a wee bit different because they're just the standard fries, and yesterday we upgraded them. So let's tuck in and see what this iconic offer tastes like. I'm going to start with a fry today. I don't know, they are fries, but they're almost chips actually. They're reasonably thick, skin on. Nicely salted. I might add a bit of pepper, I think. But they're okay. They come in the category for me, a chip's a chip. They're not going to blow your mind off. Not like a chip in Cyprus, for example. But they're fine. There goes the pepper. Do you have pepper with your fries? Let me know in the comments. Salmon is nicely cooked, well cooked. Tastes very fresh. Again, I like the herbs on the side. It's nice. Actually, I could do with loads of those. The salmon. It's a very fair portion. No asparagus, both broccoli spears, but that's fine. And the key for me now is really the Bearnaise sauce. How good is it? It's got a very light taste of tarragon in it, a little bit lighter than I would expect. In fact, this one, I'd say it's halfway between its mother sauce, which is Hollandaise sauce, and a more robust Béarnaise sauce. It may well suit the British market as well, to be honest. The broccoli is perfect. It's still got plenty of crunch in it, the freshness, and vitamins. I think that yesterday's steak treat was better. Forgive momentary pity from this icon. I'm soaked through. It's rather nice outside now, but we've had sleet, hail, and I'm in the Teddington Cote Brasserie, which is 2 or 3 miles up the River Thames from Kingston. I walked the entire way. No coat, no umbrella, soaked, but warmed already inside this brasserie. I think it's pork belly confit. I haven't actually looked at the menu, but I'll check. I've just asked. I said I'm an icon, and the meal will be on its way. But you know, the world is small. The waiter is from Hungary, and as you may know, I posted last week a film about Estegon and the Primus Pinche restaurant. The gentleman may not come from Estegon, but he knows the restaurant. It's a small world, and even smaller when you travel in the know. Can't wait for this, the third in my lunches. Pork belly is one of my absolute favourites. Let's see whether Coke can come up with a good version for £10. Quite a challenge, I think, but we'll see. British weather, what can you predict? Now you can see there's light streaming through the window behind me. Anyhow, the pork confit has arrived, and it comes with its jus, cabbage, and also what I really appreciate here is a separate potato gratin. That's quite different to fries, which we've had on Monday and Tuesday, so extremely welcome. This is not an easy dish to make as well, particularly not for £10. You've got to remember that first of all, you've actually got to cure the meat. Then it needs to be cooked really slow. And it's really important to make sure that the fat is rendered properly so that it's not greasy, but rather unctuous and adds to the taste. I've moved slightly to deal with the lighting. Not quite the most comfortable position to sit in, but that's okay. I'm not complaining. I'm going to enjoy my icons. Meat cuts really easily. It's in layers, which you'd expect, fat and meat, but it's good that it's nice and tender because, again, this is a dish that, whilst it is fatty, it is one of those comfort foods that should be enjoyable and definitely melt in the mouth. Very nice. The meat is very, very succulent, and the fat's been rendered well. Doesn't in any way taste greasy. Complements each other very well. The jus is a little watery, but it has a nice base, I think, with some red wine. The cabbage remains quite crunchy. And then let's try the skin, but it should be well seasoned and have quite a range of herbs. It's certainly seasoned okay, but it's not hugely exciting. In fact, rather like yesterday, what I find is that food is well cooked, there's good craftsmanship behind it, but there are a few compromises on being what I'd call really French as well, probably to make sure that you're appealing to the widest range of the British palate. But for £10, this is ridiculously good. Potatoes properly crumbling in my fork, making it a bit more difficult to get anywhere near my mouth. So definitely decently cooked through. Really hot. Very nice texture. Good taste. And I like the gratin sauce, which is also quite distinctly garlicky, without being overpowering. I think we can say that day 3, Wednesday, has been a success. On to day 4. Thursday. I can't believe how fast Thursday's come around. And guess what? There's been another intense rainstorm. I've made it up the river in steps this week, from Kingston on Monday and Tuesday to Teddington on Wednesday, and now wonderful Richmond upon Thames. Anyhow, today is the one that I've really been looking forward to. One of my all-time favourite dishes, which is Boeuf Bourguignon, as they say in French. And a lot of folks in the restaurant have told me that it is the highlight of the week. So let's see. So nice ambiance here. Before my special treat arrives, this is definitely, I'm told, the last week of promotion. But this type of promotion offering such good value, you need to be aware that restaurants don't necessarily tell you when you walk past. So there's nothing to indicate at any of the cotes that this offer is available, and it's not on the menu either. So you need to know and shout the words with passion. I am an icon. The bowl is very hot, so I'm definitely holding by the plate, but my Boeuf Bourguignon is absolutely ready to be destroyed by me. Looks really well presented, I think. A lot of potato, a nice piece of beef in the middle. I think it's a single piece of beef, and then you've got glazed carrots in the kind of gravy, but also lots and lots of mushrooms, which personally I really like. I know my dear friends Gary and Greeno are not so keen, but tough luck, guys. You would be able to leave them on the side here. So let's tuck in and see what we think. Bring this a bit closer so you can see. Unusually, I'm going to start with the mash, just to see what it's like on its own. Incredibly smooth and soft. And I would say that it's got a nice little bit of milk and cream in there. Not too buttery, but it's not going to need to with the beef bourguignon, that's for sure. Now let's try a little bit of beef. Wow, that just comes away from the main piece with no effort at all. And look, you can see how nice that looks. That is excellent. That is delicious. It's got a lovely beef taste. It's clearly been very slowly cooked, which makes it so tender. The flavour is also long-lasting, beautifully beefy. And this is like, a really good restaurant, I would say. This is something to be proud of. I have no doubt that out of the 4 dishes so far this week, even with this little bit of tasting, the first taste is by far the best. Zero doubt. And I think the last thing I need to do is take some beef, a little bit of potato, really mix it up in the gravy, for want of a better term. It's a stew, really, isn't it? Beef bourguignon, so in all the juices. Let's take a bit of carrot, some mushroom, and there you go, little piece of bacon. Come here. That's good. I'm going to enjoy my Thursday. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. It does show that Côte can produce really good mains. I finished my Boeuf Bourguignon, beef bourguignon, and it was really good. And remember, this is £10. Basically, I've been promised by all of the serving teams, who've all been great at every single restaurant, that this is identical to what I would have received had I ordered a la carte. It is, without doubt, at £10, the best value meal I have eaten so far in 2025. Remember, we're in September, so 3 and a bit months to see if I can do better. But this definitely wins that hands down for the moment. Great, well done to the Côte team. It's Friday, so the final offering in the Icon series is Frites. That's mussels and fries to you and me. One of my all-time favourites. I lived in Belgium for over 3 years, and it's a staple in the diet. And with this extraordinary offer, it's around about 1/3 of the price you'd pay at any Belgian restaurant. So it's going to be extremely interesting to see whether it passes the taste challenge. I'm here at the Hayes Galleria, which is a beautiful complex in its own right, and will feature in another vlog. But look, I'm on the Thames. This has got to be one of the best views, surely, from any restaurant in London. And this is humble Côte. It's truly extraordinary. Thank you very much indeed.
You need any ketchup mayo?
If I could have some mayo, that would be great. There is a disappointment, which is that I have been at the restaurant for 40 minutes. It has taken 40 minutes for these mussels and fries to arrive. Now, that is the only time this week that you could describe the service as slow. This is going to sound crazy, but I love filming mussels. They're very photogenic. Let's face it, not everybody likes mussels. They are an acquired taste. But what should they taste like, really? They should taste of the ocean, of the sea, and also not too strong a taste. If anything, it's a slightly sweet flavour. The other aspect, which is really important, is how are they prepared? How are they cooked? Because they can be rubbery, in which case they're a disaster. But in truth, the texture should be soft, almost mushroom-like. Sorry, Greeno, but it's true. The way I enjoy eating mussels is to actually use a shell, but these are all full. So let's try and find one. And we'll take the first mussel out. Does it pass the consistency test? Yep, that's nice and soft, and I feel the ocean ringing in my ears. It has a lovely, mild flavour. I want to insist on this, a mild flavour. If you've not tried mussels, don't be scared. It's not like a clam, and it's not like an oyster at all either. It's a much milder taste, and if you've not enjoyed it, you might be missing out. So let's take this shell now. This is the way I like to eat them. Just like that. Pull the mussel out. In it goes. Great. Now, I deliberately ordered these fries because, in truth, I thought about them on Monday after the steak, and I thought they didn't really have a truffle flavour. They claimed to have a truffle flavour, so I thought I'd have another go. It's an extra £1. I have to say, these feel as if they're pretty cold. Yeah, they're not as hot as they should be. There's virtually no truffle flavour on it at all, if any. That needs some work. I just mentioned to the waitress that the fries don't taste of truffle oil, and she said, no problem, I shall bring you some truffle oil. Now that I really appreciate, particularly because I also heard her talking to other visitors who were in London for the first time and giving them plenty of advice about where to visit in the area. Now that is good service. It's not served warm enough. That's the first time that's happened this week as well. Should definitely be warmer. Got to give it to the waitress. She's sorted out the issue. She's brought me this little pot of truffle oil. Let's pour it over the fries. And hopefully there's going to be a bit more truffle flavour. Yep, there it is. It's a very pleasant, light truffle flavour. So why can't they get it right without the little jar of oil? Either they should make sure they're cooking it with a little bit more truffle oil, or alternatively give every guest this little pot of truffle oil. That's the solution. I've certainly enjoyed my mussels, and I've not found a single rubbery mussel to date, which is good. And now you've got this kind of creamy sauce with the shallots in it, a little bit like Belgian moule marinière. Tasty. But I love squid, yes. I've just got to shoot this, then we'll come back to the squid. But this is, sorry, it's lovely British, Greek, Cypriot neighbours, and we all love squid in Cyprus, which you can see on some of my other reviews. But my goodness me, this is very decent. It's not as great as it would be on the Belgian coast or in Brussels, but it is a third of the price, and it's a very nice way to round off the week with Cote's I'm an Icon offers. Now it's time to reflect on the entire experience. First of all, compliments to Steve Allen, who's the executive chef at Cote. Loads of Michelin-starred experience, and he's worked at places like Claridge's, Petrus, and for Gordon Ramsay. He's designed 5 excellent main courses for this festival, I'm an Icon. But now I need to also put them in order from the least appetizing, although that's not fair because they were all pretty good, to the best. So a drum roll. We're going to start number 5. Well, for me, that was the salmon Bearnaise. It desperately needed more tarragon. It needed more punch in that Bearnaise sauce. Then at 4th, the mussels. I'm really going to praise the fact that they were all soft and tender and lovely, but at the same time, it was a little cold and it took an awfully long time to arrive at my table. Then, in second equal position, first of all, the minute steak with fries can be really variable quality in my experience at Cote, but this week it was bang on the money, £10 of money. Really excellent, very much enjoyed. And the same can be said for the pork confit, the pork belly confit as well, which I thought was superb, but at the same time could have done again with a little bit more spice and perhaps herbs, aromatics basically. And coming in as the grand winner, number 1, and by a mile in my opinion, the beef Bourguignon, Boeuf Bourguignon, which was really excellent. This has been 2 weeks of spectacular dining offers. I do hope that Cote repeat this in the future, and it's certainly encouraged me to eat here more often. Hats off for making eating out in a French brasserie bistro affordable. This is Philip Saunders signing off for Travel in the Know in the heart of London. Goodbye.